morning, YouTube world. It is 5:53 a.m. I woke up at 4:30 this morning because I was thirsty and then I couldn't sleep. So I just made myself some coffee. And yeah, I'm going to the gym at 7 today to get in a little workout before I go to Connecticut with my mom. So basically, I am looking at apartments today. We're only looking at 4 places because 2 of them canceled on me, so that's fun. No, they didn't cancel. They had to reschedule, but my mom and I had planned on I'm so sorry. My mom and I had planned on going Monday, which is today. And they wanted to reschedule for like Tuesday or Wednesday, and so I might look at more places on Wednesday if there are no places today that I really like or that I want to commit to. So yeah. I love going outside at the booty crack of dawn. Does anyone else have to do like a million point turn just to get out of their driveway? 'Cause I do. Alright guys, we are headed home. It is a little cold outside, not too bad. I'm breaking out a lot right now, but tired. You wanna go to the dog park? Where's the dog park? Where's the dog park, buddy? Where's the dog park? Hey friends! So I'm just getting ready to go to the to Connecticut. I already just put like foundation just on the spots where I have like a little bit of pimple scarring. So nothing too crazy. Right now I'm just gonna add a little highlight. Just to feel a little, ooh, that's a lot of highlight. Oops. Hey guys, it's been a few days since the last clip that you saw of us leaving Boston, but basically we saw 5 different places on Monday. We got there around 12 and ended up leaving around 5. So each place was about a 15 to 30 minute viewing and talking to the landlord or the broker. And so the first place we went to was a roommate situation. It was the cheapest option, but it was not worth the money that they were asking for it. Keep in mind my budget is about $1,200 including utilities. That's just the number that I worked out to be the most comfortable for me, considering I'll be on a registered nurse's hourly wage. So anyway, this by no means means that that's what you have to go off of. You might be making more than me, you might be making less, you might have student loans, you might not. All of those are factors that you want to consider. That place was a no for me. The second place was a 3rd floor, like a cathedral ceiling, you know, like a slanted ceiling. It was a beautiful space with big windows, but you could tell the landlords just didn't care. We were seeing it through a realtor, but there was dust everywhere. It was like this thick of just dust. They didn't clean it, and it's not that I mind cleaning those things myself, but it's more that idea of if the landlord didn't even care enough to clean this place before showing it for viewings by other people, like what is that relationship going to be like maybe if I have issues with the property later on. So that was not the place for me either, and it was on the higher end of my budget. So we took a lunch break and then we ended up going to sorry, I'm just gonna start doing my makeup while we talk, so it'll be almost like a get ready with me. So then we ended up going over to the next town that we were gonna go to, and the reason why I decided not to live in the same town as the hospital that I'm working at is because it doesn't have the reputation for being the safest if you're living alone. And so if you want to live in one of the neighborhoods that is safer, especially as a young single woman who won't be living with a roommate, I decided to look out into the suburbs of that city where it would be more affordable and safe. So anyway, that's my little spiel. I know it's tempting to live downtown if you live in a really great metropolitan area, but it's not always the best option. So I'd say keep an open mind. I was a little bummed that I was gonna have to commute to work, but all in all, like, I think it's the right decision for me. So anyway, the next place we went to was the place we ended up actually choosing, and it was a first floor of like a colonial house that had been renovated and remodeled into a 3-family home. So what I loved about this place is that it was all hardwood floors, which again, not a deal breaker, but as someone who has really bad allergies, like that's really helpful for me. And then on top of that, the lighting isn't like super, there's not a lot of sunlight that gets in, which is actually a good thing for me because I'll be rotating shifts, day-night rotation. So being able to really sleep well is important for me, especially during the day. And I noticed that during practicum, my window was kind of in a spot on my campus where the light hit directly. So even if I had the shades drawn, I didn't have blackout curtains, but even with the shades drawn, I just couldn't sleep because of the daylight. So that was something actually that I ended up liking. You know, again, other people might not like that lighting situation, but for me it worked. It's a great place. The landlord's super nice. It's affordable. It's on the lower end of my budget for sure. Actually, it wasn't much more expensive than the place that I looked at that would have a roommate, so that's great. And on top of it, it's really close to the main road. Like, it's right off the main road I would take to go to work every day. So in case there's snow, because you know, nurses still have to get to the hospital even if it's snowing or a snowstorm. But in case there were to be snow, I would literally just need to dig my car past the driveway, and then I'd be on the main road, which would hopefully be plowed by then. So that is something that I loved as well. That was the third place. The fourth place was in an apartment complex. Let's just say they were ripping me off. It said that it included utilities on the website, but I think they must have updated that recently because they were charging the same amount and not including utilities. So that was a no for me. The last place we saw was the closest one to the town where the hospital is, but it just again I didn't feel like it was worth that amount of money, especially since I had just seen a place that I really loved that was going to be more affordable. I ended up filling out an application and sending it to my landlord. We'll call him Bob, and he was super great. He was kind of serious in person, but super nice, keeping in contact pretty frequently, which is nice in terms of, you know, signing things and having questions about the lease agreement. And then he sent over the lease. When did he send it? Yesterday morning. And then my dad, it was like 15 pages long, but I read over it, I signed it, my dad read over it because my parents are co-signing for me, or with me rather, which basically means that if you cannot pay rent, then whoever co-signed with you is stating and agreeing to paying it for you. And that's more so if you don't maybe have a credit history, or if you have a poor credit score, which I don't have a credit history, which is kind of why my parents are going to be co-signing. So the lease is signed, I'm all set to go. I don't move until mid-January. And that was another thing, like, all these other places were looking to start the lease pretty much as soon as possible. Like, at the latest, the first week of January, but is it just me or does it look kind of red? I have to check a mirror. But this place specifically, the current tenant wasn't going to move out until mid-January. So that works out for me because I don't start working until like towards the end of January, so that still gives me enough time to move in and stuff, but it's not like I have to start the lease early and waste pretty much half a month's rent when I don't even have to be there. So I'm really excited. I'm going to be bringing a lot of stuff with me from home, only just because there's a lot that I can bring that my family doesn't use or doesn't need. And it's just a way to save money, because to rent a U-Haul truck and drive from Boston to Connecticut is cheaper than buying a new mattress, a new box spring, a new sofa, and all that stuff. So that's my big tip, is to just use what you have. I know it's tempting to like want to buy all this new stuff because it's an exciting time, but honestly, I would save your money and invest it in other things that are more that are gonna last longer. Like, obviously, if this is your forever home, like you're gonna live there at least 5 years, then I would say decorate it and like really make it your space. But I'm not planning on living in this place for more than a couple years probably. If I like it enough, obviously I'll renew my lease after the year is up. But in general, I'm not looking to settle down in Connecticut long term. I just don't see myself doing that yet. But, you know, again, keeping my mind open. Maybe I'll end up really loving it. And maybe I'll end up really hating it. Who knows? Who knows? So yeah. I am also getting a car. I'm gonna be leasing a car. So I have to start figuring that stuff out too, but like I said, I have time. Yeah, I'm looking to lease ideally like a Toyota RAV4 or something a little bigger. That's within my budget, obviously. But I don't know, we'll just have to see what I get. I don't really care about like, you know, fancy cars and stuff. I just care for a car that's gonna be safe. So this is the finished look. Super simple. I obviously don't wear makeup every day. I've talked about this before, but I feel like it's not really good for your skin. So I try not to. I really only do like once a week maybe. The only makeup I'll do is like eyeliner several times a week. Probably like 4 to 5 times a week. But face makeup I don't do very often. But yeah. That's all I really have to say about apartment stuff. I'm already packing and stuff, so I can show that in another video. And I'm choosing to donate a bunch of stuff to Goodwill and other thrift stores in my area because I have way too much stuff. So yeah. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for listening to me. Thanks for watching me get ready. Even though I'm like terrible at makeup, I pretty much look the same with or without makeup. So yeah, I'll see you guys later.